For most of the second half of the 20th century, global power had a clear center, the United States. It was the largest economy, the dominant military force, the hub of global finance, and the primary driver of technological innovation. After the Cold War, many believed this unipolar world would last forever. Some even call it the end of history. But history did not end. It shifted, quietly at first, then all at once. While the United States remained dominant in finance and frontier technology, China underwent one of the fastest industrial transformations in human history. In 1980, this economy was smaller than Italy's. Today, it is the world's second largest economy. But here is the key point most people miss. This is not a story of replacement. It is a story of system divergence. Here is a quick snapshot of the balance. The United States leads in 4 domains. China leads in 3. One remains structurally contested. But this simple scoreboard hides a deeper truth. These categories are not equal in weight. So instead of asking who is winning, the real question is, how is global power actually structured in 2026? At first glance, the United States still leads in nominal GDP, around $31 trillion. China follows with roughly 20 to 21 trillion. But this is only service-level accounting, because GDP is not power. It is price-weighted activity. When adjusted for purchasing power, China becomes the larger economy. But even that is not the most important distinction. The real divide is this. The United States is a high-income system. China is a high-capacity system. Americans earn 5 to 6 times more per person. This creates deeper capital markets, stronger consumption, and higher innovation density. But China operates differently. It is not optimizing for wealth. It is optimizing for conversion, turning resources into industrial and strategic output at scale. And here is the critical insight. Wealth creates quality. Scale creates capacity. Power requires both. China is often misunderstood as a low-cost manufacturing hub. That is no longer true. China is now the world's industrial base. It produces roughly 1/3 of global manufacturing output. But the real advantage is not volume. It is completeness. China is the only country with a near-complete industrial ecosystem. Electronics, steel, chemicals, machinery, EVs, batteries, solar, robots, shipbuilding. This creates something crucial. System compounding, in fact, because manufacturing is not isolated production. It is a network of interdependent capabilities. And once that network is concentrated, it becomes self-reinforcing, faster iteration, lower coordination cost, faster technology diffusion, deeper supplier density. This is why relocation is extremely difficult. And here is a striking comparison. China builds over 50% of global commercial ship tonnage. The United States builds less than 1%. But shipbuilding is not about ships. It is about industrial civilization capacity. Semiconductors are the most important bottleneck in the modern world, not because they are valuable, but because everything depends on them. The ecosystem is layered: design, software, lithography, fabrication, materials, and no country controls all layers. The United States dominates design and software. Its alliance dominant manufacturing tools and advanced fabrication. China dominates mature production. This creates a fragile global system. And since 2019, this system has been deliberately reshaped. Export controls were designed to slow China's access to advanced chips. But the result was unexpected. The system did not freeze. It fragmented. China shifted towards mature node dominance. These chips power cars, industrial systems, energy infrastructure, appliances, and here is the structural truth. Frontier chips define the future. Mature chips define the present economy. Both matter. Artificial intelligence is often misunderstood as a software race. It is not. It is a compute race. The United States leads in frontier AI, OpenAI, Google, Meta, but this leadership depends on one crucial resource: high-end compute availability. Because AI progress is no longer limited by ideas. It is limited by GPU access. Export controls have restricted China's access to advanced chips. As a result, two different AI systems are emerging. America builds frontier intelligence. China builds deployed intelligence. China's advantage is integration. AI embedded into ports, logistics, factories, robotic systems. And here is the key divergence. The United States builds intelligence. China operationalized intelligence. This is not a gap in capability. It is a gap in application. Military power is not about size. It is about structure. The United States operates a global force. It is designed for worldwide projection. Career strike groups, overseas bases, alliance networks. China operates a regional force. It is designed for denial and control within proximity zones. And here is the structural contrast. The United States is built for global power. China is built for regional containment. America retains quantitative superiority in submarines, bombers, and global logistics. China has developed dense anti-access systems, DF-21D, DF-26 missile networks, integrated air defense, and massive shipbuilding capacity. This creates asymmetry, global dominance versus regional intensity. And in a near-field conflict scenario, outcomes become far less predictable than traditional models assume. The United States dominates today's energy system. Oil and gas production gives it structural resilience. China dominates tomorrow's energy system. Solar, batteries, EVs, grid infrastructure. This creates a dual transition. America powers the present. China builds the future grid. The United States remains the world's most powerful talent magnet. It attracts global elites across science, technology, and entrepreneurship. But this system is under pressure. Immigration constraints and global competition are reshaping flows. China, meanwhile, operates a different model. Massive steel production at scale. This creates two systems. America selects talent. China produces talent. And the competition is no longer about quantity alone. It is about system efficiency. The global South is not choosing sides. It's choosing leverage. China provides infrastructure and industrial investment. The United States provides finance and security. But influence is no longer binary. It is modular. Countries now selectively engage both systems depending on sector. Brazil, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia all exemplify this pattern. This is not alignment, it is optimization. So who is the winning in 2026? The answer depends entirely on what you measure. The United States dominates the invisible system: finance, frontier innovation, global military reach, and alliance architecture. China dominates the physical system: manufacturing scale, industrial integration, energy transition, and regional defense depth. But this is not a transition of dominance. It is a structural separation of power. And here is the most important insight. We are not moving from a unipolar world to a new unipolar world. We are entering a dual system world, two different models of power. One optimized for innovation and capital, one optimized for production and scale. And neither can fully replace the other. So the defining question is no longer who wins. The question is, what kind of global system emerges when two superpowers permanently shape it at the same time? And that is not the end of history. It is the beginning of a more complex one.